Okie dokie, so I've just set up for deployment.
We've got World Leaders versus Chaos Space Marine, Renegade Warband.
New terrain, interesting point. So this will not be an issue. We're playing 10th edition, so I do have to keep everything in cover still. But in the future, this will not be an issue. I can just put it wherever I want in this cover and then it'll be hidden. Okay, so interesting things. So usually these are going to be Goremongers for me. Usually I would have these pushed slightly further up. They have infiltrate. But because we've got this huge central terrain piece, I actually kind of don't want to go in there. So that's one interesting thing. You'll find that I've got this nice cover spot for like a for a Helbrute in this case. It could also be a Dreadnought because we've got a line of sight down this corridor here. But if you've got something small, it can tuck in here really nicely. This Forgefiend is also really nice to tuck in back here, where I can just push it forward a little bit in several directions and get line of sight to some enemy. These, for your home objective, getting some scouting units is really good. These are some 8-bound, so what's going to happen in a second is these are going to scout up, actually claim this objective on turn 1 before we're even having a turn, which is going to be really nice. And on new rules, that's going to be even better because they'll also be hidden, so they won't even be able to be shot on turn 1 either. Don't even need to worry about whether or not it's actually in cover. I will then push it up further into cover, but yeah, that's good to know. We are playing 1,500 points today. So another really nice thing, so these battle maps provided to us by Lighter Creative. It has got the markings on it for deployment zones. As far as we can see so far, deployment zones haven't changed from this edition to next. But of course, they're probably hiding cool stuff for the future.
Well, they have the fundamentals with like the objective markers, the grid lines and everything like that. It makes it a little bit better and easier for setup.
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is one of my biggest gripes of this edition, is that these are really hard to set up our Crucible of Battle deployment. If I didn't have the lines drawn on here, they don't really perfectly align that well. And I can imagine if you've got a tournament of like 5 games going on, like this stuff's going to get moved around and no one's going to know where it's supposed to go.
Right.
So we'll see if that's actually the case, but yeah, it's definitely annoying. Deployment itself, really easy. We can put our units basically anywhere because there's no line of sight anywhere. We're going to do our scouts now and then go into the turn 1 and we'll record a little bit more then. Playing 1,500 points today. David was saying that he is feeling like he's a little bit short on models today or a little bit short on units, which I can kind of feel as well. Maybe we need more units on 11th edition. Cool, let's go on with it. World Eater's got turn 1. Move the Forgefiend across here to start going down this line. Do have some Nurglings behind here. One of my thoughts was to get these Exhalted Eightbound around here to fight the Nurglings and then follow up onto this objective here. But I kind of second guessed myself and I decided not to do that. Kharn does not want it today. They're going to be cowards and hide behind this building.
Kharn didn't want a bad cough.
I've decided to avoid this for now and we'll deal with this in a minute. We have literally bunched up everything center table. We've got Helbrute, Kharn in there somewhere.
Goremongers has bullied one dude to stand in the open, sitting here on the objective, tucked in a corner, and he is just sitting there going, oh God, why? Oh God, why? Oh God, why?
So this one guy over here, because we're playing Terraform today, so I figured, let's try and Terraform something. So he is going to be terraforming. And we're also going to terraform over here as well, which is going to be great for this objective, my objective in No Man's Land. And then I drew recover assets. The 8-bound in the middle are going to do establish locus on the center objective, which is, I don't know, this can recover assets. And we've got my guys in my home objective recovering assets. So that's where we're at the end of World Eaters turn 1. Yeah, so not all the audio recorded in the day, and I have the flu right now, so sorry if my voice sounds not perfect, but I'll explain in a voiceover what's going on. So basically, David has drawn Assassination and Bring It Down. The only model in my army that is a character unit is Kharn. So he's pushed up on the right side and brought all of his Terminators in line to try and shoot down Kharn. And I think I mentioned in my other video, which will be linked in the description, that you do have this firing line down this edge. It's definitely something to watch out for, and you'll see why in just a second. So if you are going to move things behind this building, really make sure you tuck them in. He's going to put Abaddon and his Soul Reaper autocannons into Kharn, and the rest are going to go into the 8-bound. So he's got 2 hits here. I'm going to roll to save. I'm going to use a command point reroll to re-roll that save, which does indeed succeed, and it prevents any damage from going through. Now David's got his Soul Reaper autocannons. He was unhappy about me making that save throw. So David is making his hit rolls. He gets sustained. He's now going to make his wound rolls. Does very well on this wound roll. So 5 wounds have gone through. 3 are devastating. So unfortunately I failed both these rolls, so that means that Kharn is going to die. And I've already used my command point reroll. So now we're going to find out if Kharn stands back up. And no, it's a 1. He does not get back up again. So this is a big upset for me on turn 1. Kharn is taken out immediately. David hasn't terraformed here because he shot my Goremonger. The Goremonger did get killed, so we don't have terraform on that center objective. It's fine. The big upset here, Kharn went down to the shots from Abaddon and co. Eightbound took 1 wound from the rest of the squad. Not much interesting. We've terraformed this objective over here, which is nice. Yeah, so that's kind of it for the end turn 1. Okay, so I had Secure No Man's Land and
Tempting Target.
Tempting Target. So David chose the center objective for Tempting Target. So the Goremonger passed his battle shock, so he's back in the Tempting Target. So here I've pushed up the Forgefiend in order to get line of sight on Abaddon. I've moved my units all around because he's got a lot of big scary melee units over the other side of the board, which I want to try and stay away from for now. We've got the Goremonger has gone inside the building after pressing Battle Shock, so that I can get a tempting target. Yeah, I want to stay away from all of these massive units. The 8-bound have pushed up on the right hand side. They've taken out the Nurglings. Helbrute, because it made charge move, was able to activate in the fight phase, so that has moved onto the objective in order to claim it. The Exhalted Eightbound on the far side, after killing the Nurglings, have then pushed up into the Predator and have wiped that out. Now, I did think that being on the opponent's objective would make you subject to being shot by a lot of units. Actually, the center terrain screens really nicely against any shots coming in when you're on that far objective, which is not something I had predicted before. We've got the Forgefiend over here getting lined up in order to shoot at the Terminators, and that is where we're at the moment. Hey guys, so just talking about what has happened on movement phase of David's turn. He ended up with Defend Stronghold, so he's placed a bunch of stuff down here in order to ensure that I don't rapid ingress into his home objective. He also dropped his Obliterators here in order to prevent that deep strike. So I ended up rapid ingressing back here just so that we can, move them up and into these units. He's moved his Chosen up, coming into charge into me. He got the Havocs have moved into the center objective. They've cleared off the Goremonger that was on that center objective. There is 1 Goremonger left alive. He's now just deciding what he's shooting at. He had Mark for Death on this turn. This Forgefiend is a Mark for Death target. He fired all of his las cannons at it, but unfortunately nothing went through. It's also Oath of Moment target. Still nothing went through. Still nothing went through. Or not Oath of Moment target. Whatever it's called. Chaos Oath of Moment is what I'm calling it right now. I don't remember what it's called. He's trying to shift these 8-bound off this objective. He didn't roll them quite enough with his Abaddon's advance, and he also battle shocked his Abaddon as well. With his army's ability. That's the game state right now. Yeah, okay, so we had this combat over here. David wiped out, my regular 8-bound. He then consolidated into this Forgefiend, so it's tied up in combat, which is quite nice for him. But these Exhalted 8-bound came around the corner into the Havocs with a heroic intervention. The Havocs were able to kill 1, but the Exhalted 8-bound eliminated them, especially with the sustained. Abaddon failed his charge.
Properly named Failbadon.
Failbadon often fails, and that was a major issue. That's kind of the state of the game at the moment. I've just drawn Extend Battle Lines and Display of Might, which I've already going to have. So that's going to be a bunch of points. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a World Eaters victory at this point, but we'll keep playing a little bit for fun. Definitely like being able to take this objective was really important, and being able to hold my home objective was really important. Those two things are real clinchers. The middle objective, like I think I've said this before, I can't remember, but like contested the whole time. Like there's no way. Like this, I feel like this is where all that fighting is going to happen, is on the middle objective right now. At least with melee-centric armies like we have. We'll see how it goes, but I have a feeling it's going to start to go downhill for Chaos at this point. So yeah, this Forgefiend has just moved into position. We are not sponsored by Newer. I bought those myself.
However, Newer, give us a shout.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor me, that would be fine. Yeah. So yeah, this Forgefiend has just fired against Abaddon's group of Terminators. I've just rolled absolutely insanely well and ended up with 10 hits going through, 10 wounds going through. So this might be Abaddon's last stand. So you've just failed how many? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Maybe I only rolled 5 dice? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now you're rolling 1 at a time.
On Abaddon.
So there's 3 more dice on 4-ups. 1 fail, so Abaddon takes 3 wounds. And everything is dead.
Christ.
Yikes.
That hurts, dude.
Yikes. I mean, for a 165 point model to like eliminate
400 points of model.
Yeah. Absolutely gross. Okay, so at this point we're going to actually be calling the game as a World Eater victory. I've pushed up, pushed across, killed all the Chosen. The Forgefiend did an amazing job here in clearing out the majority of the Chosen. The 8-Bone finished them off. We're getting stuck into combat over against the Cultists, which are just going to die to the 8-Bound, and then we can do whatever we want on this side of the board. And then Abaddon is the only one left over on this side of the board with the Obliterators. Between the 2 units that are left on the table, that's not going to do a lot against a lot of units. So thank you very much, David. If you want to check out a rundown of how the terrain played, that's going to be linked in the video description. David or Chaos Creation Miniatures has just opened up his commission painting service. So all the really beautiful models that you see on the table today were made by him. Yeah, it's really nice to be playing with some really lovely models. If you want to go and check out his webpage and get him to paint some of your minis, then again, check it out in the video description. You can also follow him on Instagram, YouTube, X, all the good things. Thanks for watching, and we will be sure to play some 11th edition games when the full rules are released. So follow us for more battle reports like this, and we'll also do much larger ones, probably once every 3 months, because they take a long time to put together. So thanks everyone. Yeah, go check out our other battle reports on the channel, and you'll get an idea of the sort of thing that we do. It's not always in the short format.